Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm. It is the middle of winter and it's cold in my northern climate right now. So I've been looking for ways to do cozy gardening in the months of January and February, and I hope it inspires you to do some cozy gardening for yourself as well. Today we'll be doing some planting for beautiful spring flowers. So make yourself something cozy to drink and let's get started. We're first going to get some ranunculus and anemones started. Ranunculus are cool climate plants and they do not like heat. So once the temperatures consistently rise above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, the plants begin to go dormant. In my garden zone 5B/6A, I start my ranunculus in mid-January so they can grow through the later part of winter. This will be my third season of growing ranunculus, and I adore these beauties with all of their soft layers. They're often referred to as the rose of spring, and you probably understand why they're so beautiful. The ranunculus that I grew last spring, I did dig up those corms last summer, and I brought them into our garage. I just left them on the garage counter for about a week to kind of let the soil dry on them so they don't get moldy. And then I stored them in cardboard boxes in the garage until now, and we are going to be planting these as well today. This year, I'm planting anemones for the first time, so I'm very excited to add anemones to the spring cut flower garden. And we'll be planting the anemones the exact same way that we are planting the ranunculus. Here is some of the varieties that we're planting together today. Now, if you're in garden zones 8 and warmer, you can actually start these in the fall. They need a cold period in order to bloom well. Step 1 to getting these beautiful flowers to bloom is to soak the corms in water. This hydrates them and allows them to start growing quicker. They only need to soak for 3 or 4 hours max. Be careful to not leave them any longer or they could rot. We have 7 different varieties and we'll have over 100 plants. Spring should be gorgeous in the cut flower garden this year. I add water to the bowls each hour just to add a little bit of oxygen. These are living plants and they don't really appreciate sitting in stagnant water. While the corms are soaking in water, Maxine and I went outside to gather some snow. This is how I water all of the spring bulbs I have planted in 2 containers. They're sitting in our unheated garage over winter, and I just add a little bit of snow to each container, and then the snow can slowly melt into the soil of these containers. And that is the only watering that I give to these bulbs until springtime when we'll be setting them outside for blooms. I also wanted to get some pansy viola seeds planted today. It is suggested to plant viola seeds or pansy seeds 8 to 12 weeks before your last heavy frost, and we are right about at that time. Once you have your pansy seeds planted, you want to cover them completely with soil to block out light. They do like darkness in order to germinate. And of course, you want to keep the soil moist until these little seedlings have sprouted. They also do like warmth in order to germinate around 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So I decided to move them into our laundry room in this little cabinet so they have darkness and warmth. I had also planted some of these seeds into milk jugs and set them outside in a protected area where it gets both sun and natural moisture. It'll be fun to compare the growth between these 2 different styles of planting in spring. The ranunculus corms have been soaking for about 3 hours, so I drained off the water and we are going to get them ready for pre-sprouting. You can use whatever trays you have or anything you have on hand. Layer about 1 inch of soil in whatever tray you're using. I started with the anemone corms first and placed the pointy side down. You can see there's kind of a growth point coming out of the top of it, and then we'll have roots growing out of the bottom of the anemones. Once you have all of your corms placed, you will then completely cover it with soil. You want to mark each variety that you're planting because trust me, you will forget what you've planted. And then I just mixed everything in very well. Next, we'll be planting the ranunculus corms. You can see these have plumped up very nicely, and you want the claws to be facing down when you're planting them. And just like the anemone corms, we will again be covering these completely with soil. If you're planting your corms into a tray like this, you want to make sure that they're just not quite touching. And this is just to make so that in case one of them gets moldy, it will not affect the others. And then again, just mist your soil very well because these do want to stay moist while they're sprouting. They want to be somewhere cool and dark while they're pre-sprouting, but not freezing. So I just keep them in our garage closet. And after about 10 to 14 days, they will start developing roots. I let them get a head start of indoor sprouting for about 3 weeks. During this time, you want to make sure that you keep the soil moist. I check on them about once per day. If the soil seems dry, I give them a mist with a spray bottle. It stays about between 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit in here, which is perfect for these ranunculus and anemone corms. All right, friends, I would love to hear how you are doing cozy gardening in January and February, or maybe you're somewhere warmer and you get to actually be in the garden working with your plants through these 2 months. Either way, I would love to hear all about it. Make sure to check back real soon for step 2 on the ranunculus, and hopefully the violas will have germinated as well by then. Today just got me so excited for the spring garden. Thank you for joining me for Cozy Gardening in January and February. I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. Have a wonderful week, friends. I appreciate all of you. I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.